Most retirees don't run out of money because they were careless or irresponsible. In fact, many of them did everything right. They worked for decades, saved consistently, avoided obvious mistakes, and still found themselves lying awake at night wondering how the numbers stopped working. I've read countless stories from retirees who say the same thing: "I didn't see it coming." That's the part no one warns you about. Running out of money in retirement rarely happens all at once. It happens quietly, slowly, through small decisions that feel harmless in the moment, and by the time the danger becomes obvious, it already feels too late to fix. This isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to give you awareness, because the people who avoid running out of money aren't the ones who earn the most. They're the ones who understand where retirement plans quietly break down and adjust before it's painful. The first reason retirees run out of money is that they underestimate how long retirement actually lasts. Many people still plan as if retirement is a short chapter at the end of life, not a multi-decade phase that can easily be as long as their entire working career. Someone retires at 65 thinking, "I'll probably need this money for 15 or 20 years." But life expectancy has changed, and more importantly, healthy years have expanded. People are living into their late 80s and 90s, often needing support for much longer than expected. One retiree shared that when he retired, he planned until age 80. When he turned 80, he was still active, healthy, and very much alive, but his portfolio was no longer built to support him. The solution here isn't pessimism, it's realism. Retirement planning works better when you assume you'll live longer than average, not shorter. That means planning income streams that can last 30 years or more, not drawing aggressively early, and stress testing your plan for longevity. The goal isn't just to retire, it's to stay retired without fear. The second reason retirees run out of money is lifestyle creep disguised as finally enjoying life. This one is tricky because enjoying retirement is the point. But many retirees slowly increase spending without realizing how permanent those increases become. Travel becomes more frequent, dining out turns into a habit, helping adult children becomes routine. None of these choices feel reckless, they feel earned. One woman shared that in her first 5 years of retirement, she spent more than she ever had before, telling herself she deserved it after working so hard. By year 6, cutting back felt emotionally impossible, even though the numbers were flashing warning signs. The solution is separating intentional enjoyment from unconscious spending drift. Smart retirees decide in advance what enjoyment spending looks like and build boundaries around it. They don't say yes to everything just because they finally can. They track spending not to restrict themselves, but to stay aligned with the life they want long-term. Sustainable enjoyment beats short-term indulgence every time. The third reason retirees run out of money is relying too heavily on investment returns to do all the work. Many retirement plans look great on paper because they assume steady growth, consistent markets, and no long periods of decline. But real life doesn't move in straight lines. Markets fluctuate, inflation surprises people. Withdrawals during down years can permanently damage a portfolio. This is something many retirees only learn after experiencing it firsthand. One man shared that he retired just before a market downturn. He kept withdrawing the same amount while his investments were shrinking, and even when the market recovered, his portfolio never fully did. The solution is building income, not just growth. Retirees who avoid running out of money focus on reliable income sources that don't depend entirely on market timing. They adjust withdrawal strategies during bad years, keep cash buffers, and understand that flexibility is a financial superpower in retirement. It's not about predicting the market, it's about surviving it. If this already feels uncomfortable, that's actually a good sign. Awareness creates options. In the next part, we'll look at more reasons retirees quietly run out of money, including healthcare surprises, emotional spending decisions, and the hidden cost of not adjusting plans over time. Another major reason retirees run out of money is unexpected healthcare costs that slowly drain savings over time. Many people plan for insurance premiums and basic medical expenses, but they underestimate how often health-related costs show up in quiet, persistent ways. Dental work, vision care, hearing aids, medications, mobility support, home modifications, and long-term care are rarely fully covered, and they don't arrive as one dramatic expense. They arrive month after month. One retiree shared that she didn't experience a single medical crisis, yet her healthcare spending doubled over 10 years simply due to aging. The solution isn't panic, it's preparation. Retirees who stay financially stable treat healthcare as a growing expense, not a fixed one. They keep dedicated health savings, review coverage annually, and plan for gradual increases instead of assuming today's costs will remain the same forever. Planning for health is really planning for independence. The fifth reason retirees run out of money is helping others at the expense of themselves. This often comes from a good place. Parents help adult children with rent, cars, weddings, or emergencies. Grandparents contribute to education or family needs. These decisions feel meaningful and loving, but they can quietly destabilize retirement plans. One couple shared that they never intended to financially support their children long term, yet over the years, just this once turned into a regular pattern. When they finally realized the impact, pulling back felt emotionally painful and guilt-filled. The solution is boundaries with compassion. Retirees who protect their finances decide ahead of time what support they can offer without resentment or risk. They remember that helping doesn't always mean paying, and that preserving their own stability ultimately helps everyone. Financial security is not selfish, it's responsible. The sixth reason retirees run out of money is failing to adjust their plan as life changes. Retirement isn't a single decision you make once. It's an ongoing process. Yet many people create a plan at retirement and then mentally lock it in, even as expenses, priorities, health, and markets shift. One man shared that his plan worked beautifully for the first 5 years, but when inflation rose and his spending changed, he kept following the same strategy out of habit. By the time he adjusted, damage had already been done. The solution is regular check-ins with reality. Smart retirees revisit their plan annually, not because something is wrong, but because something has changed. They adapt withdrawals, rebalance expectations, and update assumptions without shame. Flexibility is what keeps a good plan alive. The seventh reason retirees run out of money is emotional decision-making during stressful moments. Fear, boredom, excitement, and anxiety all influence financial choices more than most people realize. Some retirees panic during market downturns and sell at the worst time. Others overspend when they feel lost or unfulfilled. One woman admitted that after retiring, she shopped more than ever because spending made her feel productive and in control. The problem wasn't math, it was emotion. The solution is awareness and structure. Retirees who stay financially stable create systems that protect them from themselves. They automate decisions where possible, delay big financial moves, and talk through choices instead of reacting in isolation. Emotional awareness isn't weakness, it's a form of financial intelligence. If you're noticing a pattern here, it's this. Running out of money in retirement is rarely about one bad choice. It's about many small human choices layered over time. In the final part, we'll look at the remaining reasons retirees struggle financially, including inflation blind spots, identity shifts after work ends, and the cost of ignoring purpose in retirement, and how to avoid all of it before it becomes overwhelming.
The eighth and final warning sign is one almost no one plans for, yet it quietly destroys more retirements than people realize. It's losing purpose after work ends. For decades, work gives structure to your days, identity to your sense of self, and limits to your spending. When that disappears overnight, many retirees feel free at first. Then the days start blending together. Motivation fades, boredom creeps in, and money becomes the easiest way to fill the gap. More trips, more purchases, more why not moments. One retiree described it perfectly when he said, "I didn't retire from work, I retired into confusion." His spending wasn't reckless, it was aimless, and aimless spending is one of the fastest ways to drain savings. When people don't replace work with meaning, money becomes the substitute. Dining out replaces routine, shopping replaces achievement, travel replaces direction. None of these are bad on their own, but without intention, they quietly expand. The days feel empty, so spending feels justified. The problem isn't the cost, it's the lack of boundaries. Without purpose, every day feels like a vacation, and vacations are expensive when they never end. The solution isn't staying busy for the sake of it. It's designing a retirement that pulls you forward instead of leaving you adrift. Retirees who thrive financially and emotionally build a reason to wake up that isn't tied to consumption. That could be mentoring, volunteering, learning, part-time work, creative projects, community involvement, or even structured personal goals. Purpose doesn't have to generate income, but it does something just as important. It gives your money a job. When your life has direction, your spending naturally becomes more intentional. You stop buying stimulation and start investing in meaning.
This is also where inflation quietly does the most damage. When retirees feel disconnected and disengaged, they often don't notice how slowly rising costs eat away at purchasing power. A few extra dollars here, a slightly higher bill there. It doesn't feel urgent. But over 10 or 20 years, inflation compounds just like interest, only in reverse. The retirees who struggle most aren't the ones who ignore inflation entirely. They're the ones who underestimate how long they'll be exposed to it. Living longer is a blessing, but it also means your money has to survive decades of rising prices. The solution is awareness without obsession. Smart retirees don't try to predict inflation perfectly. They simply respect it. They build flexibility into their spending, leave room for adjustment, and avoid locking themselves into lifestyles that only work if prices stay frozen in time. They understand that retirement isn't static. It's a long journey through changing conditions, and adaptability is more valuable than precision. When you step back and look at all 8 warning signs together, a clear picture emerges. Running out of money in retirement is rarely caused by one dramatic mistake. It's caused by assumptions left unchallenged, spending that slowly expands, plans that don't evolve, emotions that quietly steer decisions, and a life structure that disappears without being replaced. None of these means someone was irresponsible. They mean someone was human. The retirees who stay secure aren't smarter, luckier, or more disciplined than everyone else. They're more honest with themselves. They accept that retirement isn't an ending. It's a transition that requires as much thought as the career that came before it. They don't just ask, "Do I have enough money?" They ask, "How will I live? Who will I be? And what will my money support?" If you recognize even one of these warning signs in yourself, it doesn't mean you failed. It means you still have time to adjust. Retirement rewards awareness more than perfection. The earlier you confront these realities, the more control you keep. And control, more than any number on a statement, is what creates peace in retirement.